Tonight on News Prime, Governor Hope Uzodinma presents 2025 appropriation bill. The business stockbrokers proposed roadmap for Nigeria's $1 trillion economy. On the foreign scene, Joe Biden commutes death sentences in an alleged bid to preempt Trump's planned executions. And in sports, Nigeria, Morocco, Ivory Coast set to be among top seeds for draw in 2025 AFCON. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agumofwegbe. Just a quick reminder for our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nightcomsat. Tonight we'll begin from Imo State, where Governor Hope Uzodinma has presented the 2025 appropriation bill of 755 billion naira to the State House of Assembly. Tagged budget of expanded economic opportunities, Uzodinma says the proposed budget aligns with his administration's 3R mantra of rehabilitation, reconstruction, and recovery. Imo State correspondent Amarachi Ibe has details.
Making the presentation, Governor Hope Uzodinma outlined its breakdown to include a capital expenditure of 643 billion naira, demonstrating a strong focus on development projects and a recurrent expenditure of 112 billion naira. The governor told lawmakers that the budget is tailored towards achieving sustainable development and delivering impactful services to the people of Imo State.
The last 5 years, my administration has worked relentlessly to ensure that the living conditions of our people have continued to improve.
Governor Hope Uzodinma assured the Assembly that strategic measures has been instituted to ensure effective execution of key projects and proper coordination of development initiatives.
I was mindful of the presumption that since I would not be seeking or asking for re-election again, the pace of development might slow down. But mine is different. I will continue to diligently fulfill my duties until my last day in office.
Reflecting his administration vision for growth, with priority given to the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, which sought the budget allocation, showcasing government's commitment to infrastructural development.
We have continued with our road revolution unabated. Many more roads are primed to be commissioned soon. I've equally directed that henceforth all officers involved in the across-the-board promotions should pay their full salaries as promoted with this financial effect.
Speaker of Imo State House of Assembly Chike Olemgbe commended the governor's achievements and placed the House commitment to giving the appropriation bill speedy consideration.
Your Excellency, I want to especially thank you for being the most fiscal responsible governor Imo State has ever had. It is on record that your administration was the first to engage Imo State in fiscal transparency program of World Bank State Fiscal Transparency and Accountability System.
The 2025 budget sets the stage for driving economic growth and development, raising residents' optimism that the proposal will lead to tangible improvements in their living condition. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
From Imo State tonight, Amarachi Ibe there reporting for Global Television. Thank you so very much. President Bola Tinubu has officially launched the 2024 main Christian pilgrimage to Israel and Jordan. This was made known in a statement by Deputy Director and Head of Media and Public Relations, Celestine Toruka, and published on the Commission's official X handle. According to the statement, Tinubu, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, urged pilgrims to review their journey as an opportunity to strengthen their faith in God. The federal government and the National Assembly have been urged to prioritize transparency and accountability in allocating projects in the 2025 budget. The Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, made the call In a statement signed by its executive director, Awa Rafsanjani, the organization specifically cautioned against budget padding and the inclusion of questionable allocations, such as funds designated for scrapped ministries like the Ministry of Niger Delta and the Ministry of Sports Affairs. Rafsanjani also condemned the recurrent practice of certain legislators exploiting the budget process to allocate resources for constituency projects lacking a legal framework for monitoring and accountability. The Association of Local Government of Nigeria, ALGON, says it is resolved to strengthen its collaboration with all tiers of government and development partners to deliver the dividends of democracy and tackle challenges affecting governance and Nigerians at the grassroots level. Our correspondent Anthony Momodu now reports.
ALGON National President Engineer Bello Lawal at the 51st National Executive Council meeting in Katsina State spoke on the burden and mandate of the local government administrators in delivering good governance.
It is my honor and privilege to host our distinguished members, that is the NEC members of this great association, and indeed our leaders, the BOT chairman and other BOT members, to our dear state for this very important national assignment of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON. I want to take this opportunity to thank you very, very well for really.
On his part, the National Publicity Secretary of ALGON, Hamisu Mohammed, read out the communique of the meeting, commending the government and judiciary for ensuring the local government autonomy.
The judiciary was also commended for its role in establishing a viable local government system. Furthermore, the NEC appreciates the effort of state governors and the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, in conducting elections across local government areas, with over 30 states now having democratically elected chairmen.
Other members and stakeholders expressed confidence of a better future for Nigerians at the local government levels. Anthony Momodu reporting for Global Television News.
Thank you for your reporting tonight, Anthony. Let's go to Edo State now, where the Council of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has denied the claim by its National Secretariat that Edo State government forcefully broke into and ransacked its labour house in Benin City. In a statement made and signed by the Acting State Chairman, Bernard Gwekide, and the Acting State Secretary, Kingsley Iroitoy, the State's Council described the allegations as false, misleading and baseless, clarifying that at no point were police officers used to force entry into the Labour House. The Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Shehu Mohammed, has pledged to restore public trust in the Corps. Mohammed made the pledge in Akure, Ondo State capital, while acknowledging that motorists no longer stop for FRSC personnel due to perceived lack of integrity. He emphasized the importance of upholding the legacy of selfless service, integrity, loyalty, and service delivery bequeathed by the founding fathers of the Corps, noting that the Corps had a noble mandate to protect, reduce, and minimize road safety crises, as well as create a safe and secure monitoring environment for the public. Minister of Police Affairs, Senator Ibrahim Gaidam, has listed the ministry's accomplishments for the first 3 quarters of 2024, which are reflected in the establishment of the National Criminal Data Fusion Center for the Nigeria Police Force, strengthening the West African Police Information System, and automation of police specialized services to enhance Nigeria's security. He stated these during the recent visits of the Special Advisor to the President on Policy Coordination and Head Central Resource Delivery Coordination Unit, Hadiza Bala Uthman, who presented the Ministry's performance scorecard in delivering on assigned mandates in the last 3 quarters of 2024. The special advisor, Adiza Bala Usman, stated that one key issue that the ministry needs to address is the inability of the Nigeria Police Force to take over communities reclaimed by the military from bandits or insurgents, insufficient support from local communities, and widespread distrust of the police by citizens. Let's turn to other stories for you tonight. The federal government has successfully repatriated 403 Nigerian migrants stranded in the Niger Republic. National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons made this known, stating that the returnees include 165 males, 56 females, as well as 182 children and infants who arrived just over the weekend. The return was facilitated through a coordinated multi-agency effort involving the Nigerian Mission in Niamey and the International Organization for Migration IOM. The operation marks the second batch of voluntary returns from Niger Republic within the week following the repatriation of 310 individuals on December 17, 2024. In total, 713 Nigerians have been returned to the country in the past week. Some suspected hoodlums allegedly attacked the palace of Esu Lokoja Emmanuel Akamisoko Dauda Shalika in Lokoja, the state capital, burning his vehicle and property within the premises, while the monarch narrowly escaped by scaling the fence. According to reports, Nupe natives of Lokoja Development Union were planning to host the second edition of Nupe Natives end-of-year event before the incident occurred. Dauda Shalika appealed to the government and security agencies to investigate the cause of the attack and bring the perpetrators as well as their sponsors to justice. He, however, appealed to the Nupe natives in Lokoja to avoid any form of reprisal, but continue to remain peaceful and law-abiding and allow government and security agencies to conduct thorough investigations on the attack. The federal government has officially announced Wednesday 25th and Thursday 26th December 2024, as well as Wednesday 1st of January 2025 as public holidays to celebrate Christmas, Boxing Day, and New Year, respectively. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo confirmed this in a statement in Abuja by the ministry's permanent secretary, Magdalene Ajani. The minister also extended warm greetings to all Nigerians and urged them to reflect on the values of love, peace, and unity that the season signifies as they celebrate with their loved ones. He stressed that the essence of the Yuletide is to foster harmony and strengthen bonds across families and communities. In the meantime, following deaths recorded during palliative distribution in Abuja, Ibadan, and Anambra last week, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Nentawe Yewatda, has listed rules and regulations event organizers must adhere to before engaging in the distribution of palliative in the country. He said it is important that organizers register such events, involve security operatives like the police, and carry out a risk assessment and vulnerability checks, among others, to avoid future stampedes and deaths. He expressed sympathy with the families of the victims, stressing, however, that the presence of security operatives at the distribution points will go a long way to help maintain peace and order once vulnerability checks and risk assessments have been done. The National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, has advised Nigerians to beware of individuals or entities demanding money from them for the National Identification Number, also called NIN registration. This comes as many Nigerians have decried extortion at various NIMC centers nationwide for their NIN registration. Amidst these reports, the Commission, in a statement signed by Head of Corporate Communications, Dr. Kayode Adegoke, insisted that the National Identification Number registration comes at no cost. Adegoke noted that the amounts charged for NIN enrollment at NIMC centers are unauthorized. The chairman of the Nigeria-Belgium Friendship Parliamentary Group, Ahmed Adamu Saba, has announced a renewed commitment to strengthening ties between Nigeria and Belgium through a series of forward-thinking initiatives. This is contained in a statement signed by the technical advisor to the chairman, Lugard Okonobo, stating that the initiatives are part of a strategic effort to enhance cooperation in trade, education, agriculture, and cultural exchange. The statement outlined the group's work plan and initiative for 2025, which emphasizes fostering mutual understanding and practical collaboration. Some of the plans include the Nigeria-Belgium-Luxembourg Business Forum, slated for the second quarter of 2025, as well as the Nigeria-Belgium Academic Exchange Program, the Nigeria Arts and Culture Festival, scheduled for August 2025. You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime here on Global Television, coming to you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. When News Prime returns shortly, stockbrokers propose roadmap for Nigeria's $1 trillion economy. We have those details as well as foreign and sports stories for you after this short break. Please do stay with us. So good to have you stay with us here, watching the live broadcast of News Prime on Global Television with Uyi Agmofwegbe. Let's turn to business. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has urged Nigerians to avoid panic buying as there is enough fuel in the country. IPMAN Publicity Secretary Ukadike Chinedu said this in Abuja while commending Dangote Refinery for producing the price of its premium motor spirits, also known as petrol, to 899 naira 50 kobo per litre. He said the gesture would help reduce transport costs for Nigerians ahead of Yuletide holidays. Chinedu, however, urged all association members to adjust their pump to the new pump price to attract more customers. Meanwhile, the retail price of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, has dropped to 965 naira per litre in the Federal Capital Territory. A report said the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, effected the new price across its retail outlets in the capital city to the delight of customers. The new amount is the second price drop in less than 2 weeks from 1,060 naira earlier this month. And still in the petroleum sector, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has called on the federal government to intensify its fight against oil theft. The union's president, Prince Williams Boreha, speaking at the last quarter meeting of the petroleum tanker drivers in Edo State, expressed concerns over an apparent slowdown in efforts to curb pipeline vandalism as well as oil theft. NUPENG criticized government's exclusion of oil workers from the compressed natural gas CNG program, stressing that it is disheartening that the federal government is reducing the tempo against pipeline vandals and oil theft at a time when the fight should be intensified. Nigerian stockbrokers have proposed strategies by which the federal government can deepen the capital market to achieve its proposed $1 trillion economy. They made the proposal in a communique signed by the President and Chairman of Council of Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, CRS, Olurokbo Dada, and the Registrar and Chief Executive of CRS, Dr. Josiah Akerewusi, from the 28th Annual Conference of the Institute held in Ibadan, Oyo State capital. Dada said if adhered to, the proposed strategies would help the government achieve its goal without increasing borrowing. Let's take News Prime beyond Nigeria now. Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico has made a surprise visit to Moscow for talks with Vladimir Putin, becoming only the third Western leader to meet the Russian leader since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine 3 years ago. Fico, a vocal critic of the European Union's support for Kiev in the war, said they discussed supplies of Russian gas to Slovakia, which his country relies on. A deal with Russian gas giant Gazprom to transit energy through Ukraine to Slovakia is due to expire at the end of this year. Now let's see what the market is saying as Asian markets rose after big gains on Wall Street today, with traders welcoming below forecast U.S. inflation data that tempered worries that the Federal Reserve will take a more hawkish tone with interest rates next year. A holiday-themed week got off to a healthy start after last week's sell-off sparked by the U.S. Central Bank's outlook that suggested officials would not lower borrowing costs as much as previously hoped over the next 12 months. All three main indexes in New York ended more than 1% higher. United States President Joe Biden has commuted the sentences of 37 out of 40 federal death row inmates, switching their penalty to life in prison without parole. The three excluded from the measure include the Boston Marathon bomber and the man who killed Jewish worshippers in 2018. In a statement, Biden said he was more convinced than ever that his administration must stop the use of the death penalty at the federal level, although his measure does not include more than 2,000 people convicted to death by state authorities. Biden's decision comes before the return of President-elect Donald Trump in January, who resumed federal executions when he was in office. And now, time to walk you through the excitements from the world of sports. The National Sports Commission, NSC, has resolved to put in place aggressive grassroots talent hunt and nurture talents that will win laurels for the country at the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics, also called LA 2028, without being pushed by the opportunistic Western world. NCS Chairman Shehu Diko made the disclosure while hosting a 14-year-old serial winning gymnast, Stephanie Ogechukwu Onosiruka, and her mother in office, noting that the era of losing Nigeria's best sporting talents to other countries is over as the commission has moved to tie the young gymnast down. Sounds like a whole new horizon opening for budding talents in the space of sports. Let's turn to football now. Africa Cup of Nations host Morocco title holders, the Ivory Coast, and Super Eagles of Nigeria are likely to be among the top seeds when the draw for the 2025 tournament is made in Rabat on January 27. A Confederation of Africa Football CAF official speaking on the condition of anonymity says the latest world rankings would almost certainly determine the seeds. CAF have used the FIFA rankings to seed nations for AFCON and World Cup draws and are likely to use the December 2024 listings, as the next rankings will only be published on April 3. The 2024 participants will be divided into 6 4-team groups with winners and runners-up from each, plus the best 4 third-place sides qualifying for the knockout phase. Crystal Palace have triggered the option in Jean-Philippe Mateta's contract to extend his stay at the club until 2027. The Frenchman would have entered the last 18 months of his deal at the turn of the year, with his current contract expiring in June 2026. But sources with knowledge of the deal say Palace have used the option to keep him tied to Selhurst Park for another 2.5 years. Let's begin to tie up tonight on the news here, but quickly a summary of some of our big stories. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has presented the 2025 appropriation bill of 755 billion naira to the State House of Assembly. In business, Nigerian stockbrokers have proposed strategies by which the federal government can deepen the capital market to achieve its proposed $1 trillion economy. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden has commuted the sentences of 37 out of 40 federal death row inmates, switching their penalty to life in prison without parole. And finally, tonight in sport, I told you, Africa Cup of Nations hosts Morocco title holders, the Ivory Coast, and Super Eagles of Nigeria are likely to be among the top seeds when the draw for the 2025 tournament is made in Rabat on January 27. And that's the News Prime tonight, and it came to you on Global Television. Thank you everyone for watching. But quickly, here's a reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times 276, and free to air on Nigecomsat. Kindly engage with us across our social media platforms using @Global TV NG, as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. On behalf of the entire production team who have made this news package possible, domiciled here at Global Television's World Headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, I'm Uyag Mofwegbe saying a big thank you to you for watching. At top of the hour, 9 p.m. West Africa time, we'll bring you a live broadcast of President Tinubu's inaugural media chart.